Hello everyone, in today's video we'll be looking at what are the top tips you need to do in each kind of skill range to improve at Trackmania. So we'll be using the in-game ranked mode for the skill comparison. So we'll be looking at what are the top things you need to focus on if you're in bronze rank, silver, gold, master, and then in the master 3 and Trackmaster range. Also, some of these tips will be helpful if you want to compete in tournaments, and cover the days on how to rank up also in up those divisions as well. Improve overall in Trackmania if it's either round-based events or time attack. Before starting off with the video, would really appreciate if you subscribe for Trackmania videos, guys, news and updates. Anyway, let's start off with the video. So the first things first, we'll explain two important phrases what it means. What is risking and what is saving. Risking means trying to go closer to the walls and try to get the perfect lines, also to reduce break and release times, and trying to reduce also the travel distance. So you carry as much momentum through each of the sections of the turn, trying to push more for the pace. However, risking of course comes at a cost. It does increase the potential of crash potential. Saving, however, means is just doing additional breaks or releases that a bit reduce the speed. So it's just better to lose a bit like 0.2 to 1 second than to crash and lose 1 to 5 seconds depending on the map. These two key things will be one of the things that is very important in terms of round-like play, so that is ranked, tournaments, or cup of the day. Now let's move on to the actual ranks and what are the key things that you need to focus on each of the ranks. So in bronze, main thing you need to focus on that you need to play through the map so you know at least where to go and what to expect from each of the maps. Also, a good tip is to press O, at least on keyboard or on controller, whatever your keybind or input is on your specific preferred device. It's just to disable opponents because they can be very distracting, especially if you play in a higher ping. In Trackmania, other goals don't really impact you directly as you can just focus on your own performance and they can just be very distracting in the end. Also for bronze, it's very important to rebind the give up key or just not touch it at all because it's just pointless to have it in a round. It does help out when you're preparing or learning a map or hunting it, but when in an actual rounds like environment is the thing you do not want to touch at all. And a lot of players in this range just press that button by accident since they develop a muscle memory of trying to learn the maps and hunt them. And when they make a mistake, they press the give up button. And in rounds, try to play as safe as possible, having the mentality the others will crash, because especially in bronze, they will. So just try to go through each of the rounds as safely as possible. Doesn't matter if the times will be slow, because in 90% of the cases, others will crash. Now going to silver. Around silver range, you should be in a state where you have collected at least the gold medals on each of the maps, and you're at least familiar with the map route and some pace on all of the campaign maps that are played in ranked. In silver, it's important that you learn to use the break and releasing to put yourself on the correct lines. Of course, main thing is still to focus on and not to crash. Okay, now moving on to gold. Between silver and gold, there is a bit bigger jump. All gold players, you have to have at least all author medals and get the basic knowledge of paces and what could start become a good time. Around this range, it's a good place to start to develop this kind of gameplay loop. Let's say you get a map that you're not that good at, or you clearly get outpaced afterwards while queuing, either using AFK tool or just having a break from ranked. Try to play that map or learn it, watch replays on how some of the top players do it, and try to learn up from new lines. And try to learn and understand why are some of the top players doing specific turns in a specific way. Also do a bit of practice on the specific map until you either PB or at least try to increase the pace via time attack practice than some of the other players that did in the rounds environment. Afterwards, try to adapt the new learned lines to the safer playstyle using the releases and additional breaks for optimal line adjustments. So you keep the increased pace but maintain the safe playstyle. Because players in gold are quite inconsistent, especially around gold 3 range, where most of the people are actually becoming faster. However, they risk way too much and they crash out 60% of the rounds due to that. Also in gold, especially later stages of gold, it's good to learn to rebind the high UI button. This will help you more focus on the play instead of looking around the leaderboards, so you can just focus on the map. Okay, now going to the master ranks. To reach the master rank, you need to have a good feel of the game, mentality and match adaptability to adjust your playstyle on when to risk and when to save by checkpoint management. Checkpoint management is when you look at the checkpoints on the sides and get an idea what is happening in the race between the two checkpoints. You can kind of guess what's the status and what's happening in the race. If you're starting to lose in the CP gap, that means you need to risk a bit more. However, if you're gaining, then it's a good way to at least maintain your pace or your current playstyle, or try to save a bit to maintain your current position. Since around master range is starting to become more to play the players of the match, instead of just trying to focus on setting good times throughout the rounds. Here, recognizing what your teammates are doing on the leaderboard is also quite important. For example, sometimes the fight for 5th place might be even important than winning a round, because it could be the main tie-breaking position, or maintaining 2nd and 3rd place, knowing that the first player is light years ahead and just trying to maintain consistency to keep that 2-3rd place range in specific situations. Now, going to the final ranks, Masters 3 or Trackmaster. Main thing is that this is the peak rank of the game. Basically, all players here know how to do top 100, top 200 times in rounds, and it's quite expected that the winning times per rounds are usually around this pace. The best thing that I could suggest is that you start off the rounds using the risky type of playstyle, then around checkpoint 2 see what is happening with the status with the race, to see if you need to maintain the risky playstyle or you can adapt to a bit safer approach, or if that would be enough to the rest of the round. Also trying to learn and adapt to the so-called perfect type of play, which is trying to play closest PB as possible with no crashes during the entirety of the round, as trying to have that as the main goal of the matches. Because it's quite normal that in Master 3 Trackmaster range, there are rounds when all players will just not crash and all of them will do like top 100, top 200 times in a round. So trying to learn and trying to become ultra consistent while maintaining ultra consistent plays is the main thing that you try to adapt. So just aiming for this perfectionist mentality is a good thing to have at high ranks. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe for more Trackmania videos, guides, news, and updates. That'll be it for me today. Thank you all for watching and see y'all later. Bye bye.